22 years ago, when I first studied potassium in my nutrition class, the one thing I can clearly remember is my lecturer calling potassium the power pill, as not only does it help with muscle strength, it also helps with energy. So if you are in need of a power-up, it might be something for you to consider. You're listening to Menopause Natural Solutions, episode 131, Power Up with Potassium. Welcome to Menopause Natural Solutions, your podcast for all things perimenopause, menopause and beyond. Stay tuned as your host, naturopath Jennifer Harrington, explains how to use natural therapies to find your ultimate health and happiness during your transition. Hi, I'm your host Jen, and I wanted to take a moment to thank all of my wonderful long-term listeners who have been with me for years. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. But I've got to tell you, I'm also loving seeing so many new listeners from all over the world find the show. Warm welcome to everyone. Because there seems to be so many new women joining us, I thought I should introduce myself. I'm Jennifer Harrington, a naturopath and clinical director of Menopause Natural Solutions. I'm based in Sydney, Australia, but I consult with women globally from our telehealth platform. I would say my specialty is thinking outside of the square. I like to ponder about what else is possible. I know there is not one solution for everybody. It's about discovering your individual factors that are impacting on your health and happiness and starting there. I'm not pro or anti-hormone therapy. It's an individual factor. I think of the menopausal transition as a bucket with many holes. If you patch one hole, you may be able to carry a little more water, but ultimately you're still losing water. And I see the water as a representation of the health possible for you. The main causes of holes in your bucket include poor diet, environmental toxicity, poor lifestyle habits, stress, digestive issues, microbiome imbalances, chronic viral infections, any undiagnosed or poorly managed diseases, and common ones here include diabetes, hypothyroidism, or fatty liver disease, and last but not least is nutritional deficiencies. This is a key one for me, which brings us to potassium. Today I'm back to discuss another mineral. I just love talking about minerals. And if you love hearing about minerals, next week for Jean Hales's Women's Health Week in Australia, I'm running a complimentary webinar. I'll leave the links to this event in the show's notes. Today is all about potassium. It has been estimated that 97% of American postmenopausal women are deficient in potassium. Let me tell you, the rest of the Western world would have very similar results. Did you know one of the leading causes of potassium loss from the body is sweating? So if you're experiencing a particularly hot and sweaty menopausal transition, this is an important episode for you to listen to. Potassium is an electrolyte. Electrolytes carry an electric charge when they're dissolved in the body's fluid, hence the electro part of the name. Other important electrolytes include sodium, magnesium, calcium, phosphate, chloride, and bicarbonate. Naturally, electrolytes support electrical activity in your body. Think about your beating heart or nerve impulses that control muscle control. In regard to heart health, potassium can help maintain blood pressure, reduce your risk of stroke and heart disease, as well as regulating the rhythm of your heartbeat. Potassium is required for healthy muscle contraction and strength. Without it, you can experience painful cramps, muscle fatigue, and loss of strength. Potassium is a great companion to magnesium, and they are often seen in supplements together. I think of potassium as magnesium's personal trainer. It helps magnesium to optimize muscle function and specifically muscle relaxation. For the perimenopausal women out there, magnesium and potassium combinations also work well for reducing menstrual cramps. 22 years ago, when I first studied potassium in my nutrition class, the one thing I clearly remember is my lecturer calling potassium the power pill, as not only does it help with muscle strength, it also helps with energy. So if you are in need of a power-up, it might be something for you to consider. Potassium deficiency may contribute to bone loss. A study from the University of Surrey found that having adequate potassium reduces bone breakdown and improves bone strength. The general marketing message with osteoporosis is to take calcium to help build your bones. But let me tell you, it's not that simple. And I never recommend a straight calcium supplement for osteoporosis. You need to assess all of your minerals. Minerals like potassium, magnesium, sodium, and iron all play vitally important roles when it comes to bone health. Are you worried about your blood sugar levels? Potassium may help you too. A study from Oxford University found an association between lower potassium levels and lower insulin sensitivity and greater insulin secretion, all leading to the development of insulin resistance. The final study I want to mention discusses the link between potassium deficiency and the development of mild cognitive impairment. These guys found a significant risk of developing cognitive impairment when being potassium deficient. That's got to be the menopause trifecta. The three biggest health concerns for postmenopausal women are heart disease, osteoporosis, and dementia. Did you realize before today that having adequate potassium levels could help reduce your risk of all three of these, while also helping to balance your blood sugar levels, strengthening your muscles, and providing you with extra energy? But before you run out and start taking potassium, there are a few things you should know. Like all supplements, potassium has cautions, interactions, and contraindications. One of the biggest concerns with potassium is overdosing. If you have been told to be on a potassium-sparing diet, don't take potassium. There are many medications that interact with it. Some increase its needs, while others decrease its needs. If you're on any pharmaceuticals, please get your medications checked for interactions before starting. If you are not on a potassium-sparing diet, food sources are a great place to begin. Think fruit, vegetables, and animal protein. Some of the better sources include sweet potato, spinach and other leafy greens, avocado, carrot, beans, peas, bananas, broccoli. I personally top up my diet with a daily dose of electrolytes. That way I get a balanced amount of all of my electrolytes. It's also in smaller amounts of some of my other supplements. I would not take a straight potassium product without a blood test result indicating that it's necessary, purely due to the risk of overdosing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our chat about potassium. If you have, I have 2 events coming up that may interest you. My final intake for the year of my Menopause Makeover program is now open for enrolments. This program starts on the 12th of September. It's an 8-week program designed to help you banish your menopausal symptoms and get your health and happiness back on track. The second is my contribution to Women's Health Week, my Minerals for Menopause webinar, and it's a complimentary event. Links for both of these can be found in my show notes. Well, I hope you've enjoyed that. Wishing you a wonderful day. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Menopause Natural Solutions. This podcast contains general information about menopause. It is provided as a guide, and it is not intended to replace medical advice. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. If you have enjoyed today's episode, please share it with a friend.